All right, if you're married and you're not fighting, but you're not really talking either, then this video is for you. I know in your relationship, it might feel calm, fine, but something's off and you know it. You're in the same home, you're in the same bed, but that connection, that fire, that passion is no longer there. And look, most couples, they don't lose love, they lose connection and communication. And that connection only comes back when you rebuild it on purpose. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. In this video, I'm going to show you the communication mistake. A big mistake that slowly destroys marriages, and of course how you're going to fix it before it turns into that distance, right? So look, this is what most people think. Most people think the problem is, well, we just need to talk more. We just need better communication skills. We just need to do more date nights, right? This is different. This is not what we're going to be talking about. Like, it's not about talking more. It's about talking honestly. It's not about talking more. It's about what we're talking about and how we're talking about it, without defensiveness, without sarcasm, without shutting down or going away or reacting. So here's what the problem actually looks like in your relationship, and tell me if you relate. Put into the comments here, okay? To where you're not fighting. It's not like crisis. It's not like I don't want to be with you anymore. It's not that. But the answers are now becoming short. You're now avoiding difficult conversations. I'm fine. You're starting to hear that. I don't want to argue. You start to hear that. You start going to bed with things that are unresolved, right? So there's not like this big explosion, but there is this slow distance, this slow drift, this slow division that's beginning to be created. Yes or no? Look, every marriage that ends up in distance follows the same path. It's the same pattern. I've seen it over and over. First, those small issues, those little ones, they're just ignored. Not a big deal. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to ruin the day, that kind of stuff, right? And you just let it build. So then the conversations, they go unresolved. They get avoided. Tone, the resentment starts to build up, so the tone starts to change towards one another, right? And then one person starts to get aggressive, the other one shuts down, and this is where distance is created. It's a slow disconnect. It doesn't happen overnight, just in one moment, but this is why it feels very familiar, and this is why it's very dangerous. So it's not that you don't love each other. There is still love, but it's that it's not that you married the wrong person either. It's not that you're like, oh, we're falling out of love. These are things that the enemy comes in to want to rob, kill, and destroy good families. The real issue, you know what it is? The real issue is that you were never shown how to repair healthy communication when tension shows up. Nobody really teaches that. Like, how do you repair your communication when there's problems, when there's stress, when there's tension? Like, we have to be very clear on how to do that and very practical. Look, your problem, I promise you, is not your spouse. Don't look at them as your problem, because then you're going to treat them as a problem, right? And that's not going to help anything. Yes or no? Amen? So look, the problem is distance. The problem is disconnect. The problem is division. The problem is drift. Because there's a lot of patterns that are not being spoken. There's a lot of tension and problems that are not being talked about and resolved. There's a lot of conversations that never happen. That's drift. That's distance being created. See, that drift is not like loud, red flag, alert. No, it's very quiet, but it's very deadly. And that drift, it actually kills connection, what actually kills that relationship. So what do? All right, so I'm going to give you some very tactical things on what we can do. Very practical, tactical, strategic, simple, but not easy. Especially when they're pushing your buttons, right? It's like, how do I, but this is how you maintain a good, healthy, functional, loving relationship for a long time where you're both enjoying it, okay? So what do? So first, this is what I want you to start doing today. Have a 10-minute check-in once a week. That's not too hard, right? Come on. But look, this is what it's going to do. But you have to do it right, though. Okay, like really be with them. There's no phones, no distractions, and you're going to have intention to have a real conversation that looks like this. Hey, what felt good this week? Like, you're going to sit down with them and really care and really want to know. You're not going to interrupt. You're not going to start to fix things. You're not going to get offended or triggered or try to. No. You really want to know, especially if they're going to start sharing things that maybe push your buttons. Hey, what felt good this week? What felt heavy? What do I need? What do you need from me next week? What do I need from you next week? right? These are the type of conversations that we need to get into just for 10 minutes. And this is where we're not going to be judging each other, maybe praying for each other. We're not judging each other, right? Like, hey, what felt good? What felt heavy? What needs to be done next week? Like, let's just connect, get updated, and care. That's it. It's not crazy or something that you can't do, right? But it's not something that you do consistently. These things are common sense in relationships, but we don't make it common practice. So why does this work? Because look, if you do this consistently every week, what happens? You do it before tension begins to build, right? So you're not doing this during a fight. You're not doing it, after the damage of a fight. You need to do this weekly because repair is easier when emotions are calm and you feel more connected. So if and when something does come up, if you're doing these type of check-ins like I'm telling you, it's not going to have that much of a blow up, that much you're able to have more emotional intelligence on both sides. Yes? Now, this is why this works. Connection in your relationship, it grows, it gets stronger, it bonds through clarity. So when feelings stay unspoken, you're not saying anything, guess what? Resentment, defenses start to build, right? And then when that starts to build, the distance begins to grow because now you're avoiding each other, and then now the attraction, the respect begins to die as well. Look, communication is not about just talking more and more and more. That a lot of times is hurting so many marriages and relationships. It's not about that. It's about clearing emotional buildup and hurt before it hardens and before it creates something serious. That's what it's about. You can't go into these conversations with the wrong mindset, not knowing what it is, because otherwise you're going to go into these conversations trying to win. Trying to say like, well, because you did this, and you're going to bring up your list of your records of wrong and try to use that to make them wrong. That's not what this is. That's not going to help your relationship. You must go in trying to understand. You want to understand. Your goal is not to be right, it's to find what is right. Because if your goal is being right, you're going to create disconnect, defense is going to go up. Come on. If your goal is really to understand because you care, if your goal is clarity and understanding, you're going to build safety. You're going to build a stronger relationship, and that safety brings that passion, that intimacy back, yes or no? So this is the first mistake. Look, when you start to disconnect in this and not have these check-ins, that's the first biggest mistake that starts to create a big distance and a problem. The second mistake is even more dangerous. Okay? You can still talk and still feel alone. This is very dangerous. And this is what I'm going to get into in the next video, where we're going to break down why so many marriages say, it's because, I don't know, I know we're married, but I just feel alone. It's even kind of like roommates, right? Like that's the one you're going to watch next. And look, if you're thinking all these things that we're going over, if this sounds familiar, if you're thinking like, man, this sounds like us. Like, Richard, are you reading our mail? Like, what's going on over there? If this connects with you, I built a free relationship assessment. And it's very powerful because it's going to show you within a couple minutes, like seriously 2 minutes, multiple questions, 8 questions, multiple choice. It's going to show you your strengths, your blind spots, what needs your attention right now, what you need to fix right away. Just takes a couple minutes. This will give you awareness in your marriage and show you where you stand and show you what you need to change right away. Or if you realize that you need to be more serious, you need more structure, and maybe your relationship is in a bad place, then get my 30-day reset. You can see all the links down below where it's going to a 30-day program where it's going to help you to reset your relationship. It's not therapy. It's not counseling. It's not a bunch of endless talking. That's not what it is. Clear structure every day to rebuild your communication, your safety, your connection again, that love again, right? So start with the assessment. See where you stand. And then go from there. Look, your relationship doesn't explode overnight, right? The longer that communication stays shallow, the harder that emotional reconnection becomes. So don't wait for crisis to make a change, right? Like, don't panic, like pivot and prepare now. Do something intentionally, right? So look, you didn't lose love, you just lost connection. And connection only comes back when you rebuild it on purpose. So we'll see you in the next episode.